You're listening to an East Coast Guild podcast. Check us out at eastcoastguild.com. Welcome back, everybody, to Anything Goes, the podcast where anything goes. So I'm back again. It's ya boys, Kilomes, and the Spicy Panda Boy. Back at it again for more of Anything Goes, which is really just code name for, hey, we're talking about Star Wars again.
But it gives us room to wiggle out. If
it does. We can. That's the branding. So first, I would like to thank our sponsor for this, East Coast Guild. Thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast. That's not like they pay us any money or anything like that. It's just, they host our website on their site and post all of our podcasts up to all of the different platforms. So thank you guys for that and all that you guys do. If you guys haven't checked them out, please go to eastcoastguild.com and you guys can take a look and see what they're all about. Tonight we are doing something that Panda suggested, which was going to be filled of about 4,000 million hot takes.
Yes.
On average. True. So,
you're lucky. Oh no.
There's only going to be one thing that's in Grandmaster, and that's what's going to hurt me. Because I have like 6.
I had to find my. I hate saving things because I always go to a different drive and then this folder.
Anyway, if you guys have any questions, please go ahead, put them in my Gilded podcast questions. We will answer them live if they're asked in there live, in between each of the sessions. If we don't happen to get to it during the podcast, we might maybe answer it in the Gilded afterwards, after the streams are done. If you guys would like to watch this live, please go to...
I sent you my list. Is that what you're reacting
YouTube?
to?
No, not yet. I haven't even looked at it. I figured we'll do mine first because you had a huge reaction for yours.
Oh, a lot of it's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like Star Wars.
I'm like, I want to like close my eyes and get yours open, but I don't know if I can... Wait, I might be able to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Okay, I see it out of the corner of my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the open? Okay. Where's the open?
Mm-hmm.
Open link.
I believe in you.
There it is. There's the open link.
Mm-hmm.
You and I agree on one already.
Oh, that's good. I have a lot though in one section. So many hot takes.
Oh, I don't like your other one. I don't like your other one. I saw your other down there. No. I already knew you didn't like that one though. So. Okay. So I gotta get out of that so I can have chat back up. All right. So. Illstar, I still have no idea what you were asking. Anyway. So we are going to be going through tier lists today, talking about what our favorite and least favorite Star Wars are. Again, because I have this problem where I can't pick like one of my favorites of anything, we decided to do it in a tier list fashion. So we will tell you guys what our tiers are. You guys will be able to see it if you watch the video or the live stream. The video can be found on youtube.com. I don't actually know what all the numbers are, but search East Coast Guild. You guys can get it there, or you guys can go to eastcoastguild.com and click on our YouTube link on our homepage. That is another way to get access to it, and it will be up hopefully before the end of the weekend. That's my goal. I have to get Organization 2 up as well because we did that yesterday, and I was like,
nice.
And then I'm getting ready to start another podcast. I'm like, oh, all 3 days I stream are gonna have podcasts. All right, so we're going to start off with mine. So here is my tier list.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make it any bigger than that. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'm going full screen.
I mean, I can make it like this big. So, couple of things to go through here. It's going to be a lot, I know. So down on my so just to let you guys know, our different tiers, they go Grandmaster, Council Member, Master, Knight, Padawan, and then Youngling.
You don't want to be in the Youngling slot.
You don't want to be in the Youngling slot. So, because then you get killed by Anakin.
It's true. He did kill all the Younglings minus Grogu.
I know.
We can talk about that now. It's been over a week.
We got to figure out what's going on with that one. So that'll be interesting to find out. Some people are speculating that he was just so filled with regret, like he just couldn't do it. But yes, this is a tier list for all of the Star Wars stuff.
That was the one
So
going around that Mace Windu also saved him.
I
That's
will.
almost like official.
Yeah. Yeah, Mace Windu. Yeah, that was another one.
I like it. Here for it.
It's also, there was a speculation that him and Anakin were going to be a dyad because they were both born around the same time. So they could be considered a Force dyad. At which point in time, the dyad dies once one of the members dies. So it's not still going on, but there was
like passed on to his like Luke or whatever.
Yeah, it could have been passed on to Luke, but the dyad, there's one dark, one light, because Kylo was dark and Rey was light.
That's fair.
So
okay,
all right. So
it's my favorite of the couplings in Star Wars, which you'll get to.
My just a precursor on my entire tier list.
Okay, yep, I'm looking at it.
I take things. I put everything for me is like my face value, like how I felt when I watched it, how I feel when I think about it. If there are parts I enjoyed and I enjoyed it more than another movie, it ended up there. If I've never seen it or I thought it was complete and total hot, it ends up on the youngling pile.
Okay.
So, two of those things. Yeah, you guys, if you guys want to post your tier list, you guys are more than welcome to post it in the Gilded.
I can send you the link too. The link.
Yeah, he has the link to them, so we'll put that in chat as well. And actually put it back in our Discord so that way I can put it in the show notes if people want to tweet their stuff at us. Tweet their tier list.
Here's the link for you. Here's the link in
So
chat.
my youngling tier, my bottom tier.
Bottom tier.
Garbage tier. This is our garbage tier. You can't see Gilded. Well, you can join the Gilded. It is the first link in our bio. If Sensora would be ever so kind to get that would be awesome. And we would appreciate it. So
out too, yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
My first one that I'm going to throw out there is Resistance, because I haven't seen it. Though from what I've seen of it, I don't want to see it.
I would have heard like how it gets. It's like it doesn't get better. You know,
so,
like the other anime shows feel like they get better, but
yeah. So I'm just like,
get there.
I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're trash. You're garbage. I haven't seen it at all. I'm not interested in it. That's where I'm at.
Really fair.
The Clone Wars movie, I have not seen.
I have.
I would probably watch it and I would probably enjoy it, but not more than Night. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't enjoy it as much as like the actual series. I'd probably enjoy it, but I put it on my younglings because I've never seen it. Then we have my least favorite of all of the movies, the one I hated the absolute most, which is episode 2. I absolutely hate episode 2.
I tried to even like explain my like point of view on it. No, it's just it is what it is.
It was incredibly terrible. I absolutely hated everything about it. I hated it because everything I remember was that it was basically just a romance movie and not a Star Wars movie to me as a kid.
That's fair.
So I hated that because it didn't feel like Star Wars. And that was, me watching New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi like every single day as a kid. So when I was watching that one, it didn't feel right.
No, fair.
Which is why I was not a fan of it. Now we're going to go on over to Panda's tier list. Okay. I mean, I expected what I was going to get.
I've reorganized this thing like 3 times. I'm pretty good with this one. I'll probably change it in the future, but for right now, this is pretty good.
So, do you want to go ahead and talk about your youngling tier?
My youngling tier? Oh yeah, sure. So we got Resistance. As Kill said, I watched a little bit more than Kill of it, which means I've watched like not even the
watching one season. Episode has
good.
Watched more than Kill has.
Exactly. So I like it for some of the things they're doing, but it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, and it kind of doesn't go anywhere from what I've heard. So I'm like, it's okay. Maybe I'll watch it when I got some free time. But now my hot take on this one already out the gate.
Actually, it's not even your hot take. It's my hot take because I don't agree with you. Everybody else in the Star Wars world does agree with you.
for change, I'm on the right side. No, it's on the right side or the wrong side. So I already said it wasn't the right side or the wrong side, okay? But no, like I just don't think it's.
Let them know what it was. You didn't say which one it was.
Terribly paced, super fast. Oh yeah, it's because it's
Rise of Skywalker, guys.
Rise of Skywalker, episode 9, bottom tier
for our listeners tier. For our listeners at home.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. So yeah, Rise of Skywalker is just it's rushed so much to the point where you like even in the beginning they're like, look at all these planets we're going through, and then we're gonna stop for 3 seconds, and then it's just like it's so much throwing at your face. By the time you can actually unpackage everything, not much happens in that movie. You got to get a MacGuffin, which is the little triangle pyramid thing, and then it's not. Yeah, good.
You had to get. It was the search for the MacGuffin while you thought you killed Chewie.
And then also, don't get me out. Don't even start with me with that fake out. I was like, there's no way. At first, I was like, they actually.
I was in tears. I was so upset.
And I was like, no. I was like, there's no way.
I was like, there's no way they killed him. But come on, man. You can't really joke about Chewie.
Half a second. This whole subverting expectations things they started doing instead of just killing characters or doing it in like a better way is not good. And it's throughout the entire sequel trilogy. That's my piece.
I will agree, except I think that Last Jedi did a better job at killing people.
Oh no, for sure. No, Last Jedi was probably the best.
Last Jedi did pretty good at that. Well, and I mean, I'll tell you why mine's not there, but
yeah, but that's fine.
All right, so since I already have it up, let's go next on your Padawan tier here.
Okay. Good. Yep. We got Force Awakens. We're going getting rid of the sequel trilogy real quick because it starts off good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts off like a pretty decent movie. Then you have these meatball monsters with tentacles, but with unnamed groups of people that are after Han.
Okay, first off though, who's not after Han? Like somebody's always after Han.
There's layers, but it's fine. It's okay. Whatever. We're just gonna keep going. Then we gotta go to the point that like Han just loves her like super quickly. Like he wants to take her under his wing, which whatever, fine. We can.
Well, when your other child's a disappointment, I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. We can attribute that to Kylo. We can write the story for them. I'm just saying it's like very, I don't know, breadcrumbsy. It's not terrible. I don't like how they started this whole thing with Finn, and then by the end of the first movie, we have all of Finn's characterization for the entire trilogy.
Oh, that part did suck. That
and
I wasn't.
Most of the characters actually, most of the new characters, they're very one note for the most part.
Like Poe.
But yeah, they're all like they'll screw up and they'll make up for it. But they can do it all on their own because they're all strong and independent. And that's hey.
Then they did Rose dirty.
Yeah, they did Rose real dirty. Oh yeah. I'm just saying that it just seems like it's like it was not thought out at all and it was just rushed.
I think I finally understand why I don't have a problem with the sequel trilogy. I think it just clicked in my head.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Because I don't blame the movie for the directors being pieces of.
That's fair. And I like parts of it. Like I've said like all these things, even in Rise of Skywalker, I did like parts of it, but. Yeah. When we started getting to like, there's like when I have to think back and I don't even want to rewatch a movie because it's so like jumbled, like and I can't enjoy it like I did the first time because I was getting so much shoved in at my face in a movie theater back when those were visited.
What's a movie theater?
There were these things like Blockbuster. You wouldn't remember. It's okay. Don't worry about
it. You're too old for that. Too young for that. Yeah, too old for that.
Yeah, you're too old for that.
All right, so.
But
that's yours. Now we get to mine. And I will also say,
I'm looking up at all of them.
I will also say that like I haven't actually gone back and rewatched Rise of Skywalker. Like I haven't rewatched. I've only seen it once.
I did twice.
And so I probably need to go back and rewatch it just for the rewatching of like. Maybe like we'll do that later on, like a couple months down the road, an updated tier list after we've gotten killed to rewatch everything.
Yeah, that's just fine with me.
Which some things won't change. Too. Like Rebels, Clone Wars, and Mandalorian will not change where they're at.
Yeah,
that much I do know. Like those TVs, like that's where I feel about them. But my Padawan tier, and so okay, I'm gonna explain first off why Rogue One is there because like this isn't me trying to make a hot take. Like I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't
know, it's so much
remember.
higher for me,
I
don't
don't
worry.
remember any of it.
That's fair.
The only part I remember is the Darth Vader scene at the end.
That
I
is very
watched the
fair.
entire thing, but if that's the only scene that I remember, now note I haven't like watched them in a while. If that's the only one I can remember,
Yeah.
then I really feel like it didn't make the impression that it needed to. And
That's
where
very
I
fair.
liked it, I remember liking it when I saw it. I was like, it just didn't have the impact. And so since it didn't have the impact, I put it down at Padawan. So it's not like me making hot take. It's just, it didn't hit me. It didn't impact me as much.
That's fair.
Phantom Menace. This one, it can be a little bit hot takey because outside of Duel of the Fates, which is probably, we should probably make a tier list for like fight scenes and like important scenes because my
like,
tier list would be completely different. The fight scene and the understanding scene, like the momentous scene of episode 1 with the fight between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul, that is a grandmaster scene. Don't get me wrong. That is a top tier scene.
Oh yeah.
But the entire movie is hot garbage. The acting is trash.
Oh yeah, it's not new.
The I don't have a problem with Jar Jar. I don't. But like I don't have a problem. I understand why he's there, but he's not enjoyable.
I get that.
Like I don't have a problem with him being in there if he had either some worth or his jokes were enjoyable and not Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
Because you grow out of the Napoleon Dynamite being funny real quick.
Yeah, no, I grew over it before I even watched the movie for the first time.
So that's where I was on that one. And that's why I was like, that's Padawan. Because like I went back and I rewatched it, and we rewatched 1 and 3, my roommate and I, and I was just like, now don't get me wrong, I know that 3 where it's sitting on my tier list, but even though the acting, the story pulled it to where it's supposed to be at, in my opinion.
I think it's better than we originally gave it credit for, especially after we got the sequel trilogy. It has shifted in my mind immensely, which is a good thing. The prequels aren't that bad, you guys.
They're not that bad. I mean, but here's the thing: like, I'd still rather watch the prequels than Jaws. Like I would rather watch them than other movies. Like,
I need to like watch. I don't know if I ever watched Jaws.
I've never been interested in Jaws. Here's the other thing. So here's Kill's first hot take of the night.
Hot take. I'm ready for it.
I would rather watch any Star Wars movie, save for episode 2. So other than episode 2, any other Star Wars movie or thing, I would rather give it a try for the 2 hours of a movie time instead of watch a Jurassic Park movie.
Wow. That is that I wasn't ready for that. Honestly,
like I didn't enjoy it. I don't enjoy that stuff.
Well, that's fair, yeah.
Like as a kid, I was super freaking scared of it. That's why I hated it. Now it's just like I'm not really scared of it. I just don't have the nostalgia hype behind it.
Yeah, that's fair because you went so far one way, you never went back the other way. Yeah, that's fair.
Which I will also say, after rewatching Empire Strikes Back with Alex, it moved way up my tier list. It used to be down at Padawan.
No, that's the
because
thing,
of what I remembered as a kid.
I think it deserves it. Like,
well, there's so much more going on than what a 5-year-old will understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Like, when you rewatch that movie, you're like, this is even better than I thought.
You're like, it's like an onion. It's got layers.
Layers. The helmet, the Vader helmet in the fog, like,
dude, it is so good. Okay, anyway,
we'll get there. We gotta get there.
So, my night tier, which is the 3rd tier up, my night tier, it's the only one on the night tier. This was my tier of like, it was good. I'd watch it again. It had some awesome scenes, but it wasn't revolutionary in the Star Wars, world. It didn't make a massive amount of difference. And that is The Last Jedi. Where I do feel and have an understanding that Luke would have acted similarly to how he did. I don't know that he would have acted 100% how he did from comics and from the original stuff, but going basically into a hermit style lifestyle after the greatest failure he's ever done for the universe made sense to me. Then trying to do what he did to bring it back, I didn't like that they killed him off
Yeah, they killed him off really quickly.
Yeah, I didn't like that they killed him off beforehand.
I don't like that. Like that was too much for him when he had also wasn't using his powers for however long too.
No,
There's a lot of
he was very disconnected from the Force and was like trying to reconnect. And I mean, he's one of the strongest Force wielders to have ever existed. Like he was stronger than Yoda.
Like,
so like, I'm just somebody asked in chat, why is the 2D animated Clone Wars not on here? I'm going to answer this one right away. It's not on here because it wasn't on our tier list.
Yeah, it's just not there.
It just wasn't on our tier list because they destroyed that one and it is not canon. It is not Legends. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's hard to even get, like, honestly, like your hands on it.
So that's why it's not there. All right, so night tier for Panda.
No, night tier for Panda. I don't love my night tier, but
I'm actually not upset with your. I'm not upset with your night tier. I'm not upset with your night tier.
You're not upset with it? Okay.
No,
because after rewatching the prequels, I think that 1 and 2 are a lot closer than. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Because like I felt weird. Like I'd have to move both down if I was gonna move one down. So that's why they're both there. Because I don't like Phantom Menace. I just rewatched it and I'm like, this is still more thought out. And like they had the stepping stones of everything.
Yeah, no, it did.
Like there's so much there. There's like the prequels might be a lot of things, but it has structure.
They had a massive amount of story.
Yeah.
They were glorious for the amount of story that they had.
Which is why they're both there.
But I will say for me, like, I mean, as I said, like 2 just was not enjoyable. Like maybe I'd like it now.
I didn't like the movie that much for the Clone Wars. The movie's not that great because it's just setting up something that should have came after. Like if it came at the end or like even in the middle after one of the seasons, I would have been okay with the movie.
It actually is supposed to take place like 5 episodes in.
It doesn't.
I mean, I know that's not a big difference, but I'm just saying, like, it's.
I know, yeah.
The timeline for that series is so jumbled and gobbledygooked.
Yeah,
that it's really not even funny.
The fact that it's still like canon is weird to me, but I'm glad it is. But
yeah.
Then we got Rogue One. I like Rogue One. I didn't like it, so going into it, I didn't even want to like it. And then by the end of it, I was like, you know, it's not bad. I think it has a good story. I don't think it should have been marketed as Star Wars. I think it could have been like a spy movie within the Star Wars universe. But that's fine. We could have done a lot more differently because a lot of the shooting and everything, which I have mentioned to you, Gil, before, was gobbledygook as well. It was really all shifty and messed up.
It was very
shaky. It was supposed to take place with Jin growing up, so he would have had way more backstory and would have liked her and been more invested in her.
It was also there were moments where it was very Cloverfieldy.
Yeah.
Like, it was just shaky.
You could also see like where they took out stuff because Saul was supposed to you were supposed to see Saul go even crazier. Because he's already
the man's freaking bat crazy.
Oh yeah, but with like if we could see
that in Clone Wars so much,
him, you know what I mean, and have that emotional hook, that would have brought it up more.
Well,
like,
getting to see that from like the Clone Wars perspective and Rebels, is like
that'd be great.
Huge.
Oh yeah,
because it makes you see him completely different in like Fallen Order.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't it's weird.
I like how Cloverfield is just synonymous with shaky.
Yeah,
it's just the same word at that point.
I get what you mean though.
No, but that's fair. 1 and 2 on your night tier, and then Clone Wars. And
it's a busy night tier, but I think it kind of for me, I needed that
middle ground. That's fair.
I got like a burger. You know, you got the bun, the meat, and the toppings. And then you got the other bun.
And the bottom bun is like necessary so that way you can appreciate everything else.
Like
but it doesn't have anything
underneath the burger. Like on the bottom, and you're like, you know, it's a little bit. It makes the bottom bun a little bit nicer, you know, because at least it's not the worst thing you're biting into.
Yeah,
I'm weird with texture. Don't like.
Oh man. All right, so you want to talk about your master tier?
We can talk about my master tier. I guess. So we got Revenge of the Sith because it is the best prequels movie. By and far.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's even like it's weird to me because like you said too, like the dialogue is obviously not great. It's still
to me the Jedi are evil.
It's like okay.
Do not underestimate my power.
You know, take that's it. That's your only take. Okay. All right. Hey buddy. I'm glad you're coming back, but Then we have Last Jedi.
You took her away from me.
I loved Last Jedi the first time I watched it. I didn't love it after we got what came afterwards. It kind of lowered it a little bit, but like I loved what it was doing and how it was adding to the Star Wars universe. It added a lot without like, and it didn't really over explain everything. You know, it was show and not talk, which was nice.
And I liked that Last Jedi. You're talking Last Jedi, right?
Yep.
I liked that it raised
This is
questions
controversial,
about things in the universe that we were told don't happen. Like,
Yeah.
because there's such a mathematical impossibility, we can't see it because of the technology they have, but you can choose to do something like the hyperspace
Yep.
thing. Like, that was a scene that was
Yeah.
monumentous to me because
And just,
even
it looks so
in
nice too.
even in the first chapter of the High Republic book, which has been out for months if you went and read it from IGN, it actually talks about like they're in a hyperspace lane and the ship gets demolished by a rock or something. We don't even know what it was, but like they tried to dodge it and they went to dodge it because they're like, this is a mathematical possibility. There shouldn't be anything in this hyperspace lane, but it was in the lane. And so then they try to dodge it with their ship, and their ship basically gets completely torn apart because it's like super old, and you know, you're like at light speed taking a wide turn and pulling yourself back to normal, and it's just like
Yeah, you just kind of fold it on yourself.
exactly.
Almost,
So there's that idea where like that stuff it's possible and these things can happen, but the likelihood of them are so far and few between that it's like it's nice to explore it, but everybody's like, I hate it.
And I get why people have problems with it. There are problems with it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying it's my favorite, honestly, out of the
Pod Racers was good. Pod Racing was good, but like I need a Star Wars NASCAR series to really enjoy Pod Racers.
Oh my god!
Like you give me like,
or even like they start adding this like in his like little like segment breaks in between like shows.
Even better, yeah, do that, or like even better, we get a pod racing league like Overwatch League. I'd be in for it. A new pod racing game. I would watch the crap out of that.
That would be crazy, yeah.
I would screencast that. I would screen.
I might actually
10,000 Gungans with beers and trucker hats. Oh, Misa like the vroom vroom.
Love this Inspire. Play the N64 game. That game is really good. I do love that game.
It is. It was cool.
I actually played it on. I think I played it on PC. Actually, I didn't play it on N64. So take that, N64.
Get wrecked, N64.
I don't.
All right, so my master tier is a little bit hunkier, only by a little bit.
Okay.
Only by a little bit.
Only a little bit.
So I'm going to start off with master tier for The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I believe a lot of it was a necessary evil because you're like the biggest complaint people have had, other than Han's death, which. Look, just let Harrison Ford have this. He hates Star Wars so much.
Why I have a problem with Rise of Skywalker?
Like he hates it so much.
Yep, he really does.
Just let him die, even if it was a stupid death. Let the man die in peace.
It was meaningful for his journey, though.
It was incredibly meaningful for the journey because it's like I even liked the idea of like Ben's a spy. Like he doesn't know he's a sleeper spy agent, but he's a sleeper spy agent because like he doesn't want to kill his father, but he like needs to.
Did you hear the theory that he didn't actually kill him? That he pushed the button on his lightsaber, Han pushed it?
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. I kind
of like that.
I kind of like that too because it just makes me think Harrison Ford's like, yes,
like, finally. He's like,
I hate this place. I'm not even Force sensitive. But I felt like it was a necessary evil. Like, yes, it was like a copy, but like it connected the fact of these old movies and these old characters with these old relationships in a way that we're familiar with already. We're familiar with that already. So we're attuned to kind of like it already because it's the same formula. And then they build off of it. Not to mention, I know everybody hates Starkiller Base. It's a big Death Star. Until you like get into that though, like I didn't like. Okay, I wasn't a huge fan. I was like, okay, it's kind of cool, but you know, whatever. Until even you get to the point where like you understand that that's Ilum, and you go through Fallen Order, and you see that they're mining the Kuiper, and that they're doing all these things and they're hollowing out the planet and they're doing stuff with it. Like that makes it so much more impactful when you understand the history of the place. And that is my thing with the sequel trilogy and why I rank them so high in comparison to Panda, because there's so much more that's going on that if you watch the movie and take the movie at face value, like, yeah, they're not great movies.
Yeah, no.
But if you go deep into them and you get deep into the lore and everything like that, there's so much room for legend stuff to come through. There's so much room for new canon. There's so much stuff that's there that's deep in it, but like you have to read or listen to Audible. Like you have to do things that you would not normally do, and therefore people hate it because they didn't get these details. I'm willing to dig for the details, but that's...
I think it's because the other ones can stand on their own.
They can, yes. They can stand.
And kind of my issue.
And super duper face value with these ones, they can stand on their own. But for a Star Wars, like, if you were 7, you would freaking love all those movies.
Oh yeah, probably.
Like that's the thing, and that's the thing we also have to remember.
Cynical though and critical though.
Who are these movies made for?
I know. We can always fall back on that excuse.
Like,
I know.
It's not even an excuse. It's just that's what it is.
I know.
Dave Filoni said it. He's like, yeah, adults love it, but like I don't care what they think. I made it for kids.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of adult themes that go on in these movies for kids.
Get them ready. It's raising us.
Which then brings me into Which brings me into the next one, Solo. I've only seen the movie once. Holy freaking crap! I loved that movie.
I liked it a lot.
That was so good. Oh, so good. I honestly I could rank it higher if I really wanted to. But I was like, I didn't feel like it was quite as iconic as, you know, a council member. Now, if I had a tier that was, you can be on the council, but you do not receive the rank of master, that was above master because, you know, they're on the council, I would give it that one. You know, I'd give it my Anakin tier, because it was that good. Like, it was so good. But it wasn't like, you know, it's not what I think of when I think of Star Wars. Like, it's not the first thing in my mind. And my last one on my master list sounds funny. Is Rebels. Like, Rebels overall amazing, set up for amazing characters.
Yeah.
It's not up in the top 2 tiers because I feel like there was a lot, like, okay, this one's going to come back to bite me in the butt, but there was a lot left out for a TV series. Like, I wanted more Thrawn. I wanted more of the Empire. I wanted more of the like Wedge Antilles type things where these guys were, they like, how I wanted to see more of these stories of people going, wait, the Empire's kind of full of crap. Like they were so blind to, like, and I liked that, but I wanted more. Yeah. I wanted more about the Veil of the Force. I didn't want just 2 episodes at the very end of the series.
Yeah.
Like, I want more of that. So
I definitely think that I like it, but we'll get there.
I liked it a lot. I did love it. It's like when they had the space to do more.
Oh yeah.
Versus like the time crunch of 3 hours. I just wanted more.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's completely fair.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I wanted more for the sequel trilogy, but I also go, well, I understand they were given 3 hours and this is all they could do.
Yes, that is also
Although
fair.
There's a 4-hour director cut. There is a 4-hour director cut of Rise of Skywalker coming out later this year with a deleted scene showing the original grandfather for Rey. The original idea, which was Ben Kenobi. Which means that him, was the original grandfather. He was the original grandfather. So that means that him and Satine had a child, and that child went off and had Rey. Or he got with somebody else. But that's who I would like to think it was.
I would like it to be Satine, because we like Satine the most for Obi-Wan, I think, at this point.
Yeah. So that was the original idea that was going to happen. And that is coming out with a director cut. They had that halfway through the I think it's just saying, like, I knew it. Pick up the phone, you know. They knew halfway through the like, they got halfway through the filming of that scene and then they stopped it. So Filoni and Favreau are finishing up the scene.
Okay. Love
and
it.
then they're going to add it as a deleted scene
I love that
to
there are,
the
like-
director's cut of Rise of Skywalker.
There are saved people. It's awesome.
So I'm super into seeing that because it's a different like it's a Veil of the Force kind of like different timeline thing, but
Yeah.
they're not really retconning anything. They're just saying this was another idea that we played around with, like this was stuff that was played with. And I think so the movie's like 2 hours long. A 4-hour director's cut, that movie is actually going to probably end up being spectacular because they're going to have 4 hours. They have enough time to go through all the crap and it's not going to feel rushed.
Yep. And then I'll be okay with them. Then I'll move my entire list for that director's cut. It will just completely.
We will sit down and we will be in Gilded and we will all watch that together. We will do a Disney Plus watch party.
There we go.
When it comes out, I will sit down for.
I just need to fix my Gilded problems because Gilded does not like me at the moment.
It doesn't. We'll get it there. So that is my stuff on the rank of master. You, sir, could you go through the rank of master and then go through your council members?
Oh, you know what? I would love that.
Actually, no, wait. Did you already? No, you already did the rank of master.
I did master.
So
yeah.
I need to do my council members. That's what it is.
You do count. Yeah, you do council members.
That's okay, fine. So I was like,
you're good.
So the Clone Wars was the absolute like seasons 4 through 7 were the best of any of the animated shows I've seen.
I still think you need the first 3 too. Like
the first 3 were good. They were good. Don't get me wrong. There's good parts of them. Like even I guess season 3 is really where it starts to pick up. 1 and 2 are a little slow, but 3's with the Night Sisters, and that's where it starts to pick up.
Oh yeah, Dathomir and everything's crazy.
Like everything that happened in the Clone Wars from season 3 on was just, oh baby, a triple. It was amazing. Definitely think that it is something that is iconic and that people need to go and watch it because it is amazing and it needs to be done. My second one on the council member list, A New Hope. Because, I mean, it's A New Hope. It was what we all started with. I mean, most of us started with. If you're my age, it's what you started with. And I'm sure, I think Panda, you started with this too. You would have been right around the same age for that.
Yep.
So it was the introduction. You were always like, oh no, that dude just killed the old dude. What the heck? And you're like, that Star Wars, you're like, that fight, it lowers all your expectations for everything else in the series. Like lowers it, completely kills any expectation. You're like, man, those laser swords, they're really freaking cool because they're laser swords. Those guys suck.
They're fencing for some reason.
Yeah, like what's that? And like now you know, but like amazing. Also, reading Star Wars from a certain point of view has made me appreciate so much more the universe that George Lucas created with this movie.
Oh yeah.
There's so much more going on like that they're creating the stories for now.
I feel bad making fun of prequels, honestly.
It's so expansive in A New Hope. Like it's amazing. Oh, it's
still going to.
It's gorgeous. No, but still make fun of prequels. Make fun of the sequel. I don't care. The original trilogy is like you can kind of make fun of like the animation, but you also understand it was the 80s. So I mean, New Hope, Star Wars came out in 77. So like,
you really can't say anything.
You can't like, it's crappy, but it's wonderful too. So like, loved it. You know, monumental scene of Luke shooting his proton torpedoes right into that pipe and go boom, which everybody's like, that's a plot hole. And I'm like, do you know how proton torpedoes work? No. All right, then shut up. Literally in episode 3, they were locked onto Anakin's heat signature of that thing, of his starship.
Yeah.
They could go literally to the hottest heat source, the power generator. And they can turn incredibly quickly. Shush it. Just saying. Plot hole, my. Then the last one on my council member list is Empire. Now, no, when I was a kid, I hated this movie. I thought it was incredibly slow. I thought it was just like, other than the, no, I am your father. You know, the literally the like most 1000% wrongly quoted line in all of literary like works. Because it's not Luke, I am your father. It's no. So it's like search your feelings. You know it to be true. Like no, I am your father.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a voice for this. It was like, did Obi-Wan tell you about what happened to your father? You killed him! You killed my father! No, I am your father. No!
Search your feelings. You know it must be true.
Ah! Genius. Cinematic genius. So good. So good.
Oh, buddy.
So good. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Getting to re-see it, I was just like, oh my gosh. It's so much like it's so much better like when you're like not 5 years old and like, oh my god, there's so much snow, it's so boring. Oh, just stop trying to kiss Han. Ew.
Oh my god.
And then you're like, now it's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's like, oh man. It was just so good. So good.
Yeah. I loved it. I love it. It's a roller coaster. There's a lot, you know?
Yeah, it is. And Illustar said in chat, Illustar said in chat, and throwing himself into a pit is completely what Anakin would have done in Luke's shoes. So now Vader knows he's the father. 100% right, though. Can you imagine Palpatine?
Beautiful.
Anakin, I am your father. No! Actually, he'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Because he loved frickin' Palpatine.
That's true, yeah.
All right, so
well, sort of. I don't know if he loved him.
He did. It was that was his mentor. He had absolute like love and affection because that was his mentor. So
I don't know. I feel like all the Sith hate each other anyway. Either through their mentors, but
well,
whatever.
I mean, no, after episode 3, like I don't think Palpatine ever loved Anakin. Anakin loved Palpatine, and then episode 3 happened. No, I think he did up through episode 3 because he was his mentor. He was wonderful and everything. He's like, oh my gosh, you know, he was being the father figure that Anakin never had.
No,
because Qui-Gon Jinn was dead.
No. And Obi-Wan was his brother, like he says. He doesn't say I was your father.
No, he wasn't your father. I was your brother, Anakin. I loved you. I know.
I'm not really looking forward to those two going toe-to-toe again. I don't know. It's going to be great and terrible at once.
I mean, now maybe Dave Filoni's not going to let Hayden Christensen be a crappy actor, so.
I mean, no one's going to let me be a crappy actor. He doesn't want to be a crappy actor anyway. I guarantee that he's going to put, like, every last bit of blood, sweat, and tears.
And I hope he does, because I look so forward to reliving that and being like, Panda, did you see what he's, oh my god. If I am not in tears and destroyed by that fight, they did it wrong.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Because that is one of the most influential fights of my entire childhood.
I don't even know what they're going to do, honestly. I don't know what they're going to do with any of that, but...
All right. So you have your council members and the Grandmaster tier.
Okay, so we'll start with Rebels. Like Kill said, it's not. I don't think it's as great as Clone Wars. I think it gets there, but I like the characters a lot. I didn't like them at first. Like I was like, Ezra's super annoying.
God, he's such a whiny baby at first.
Yeah, he's so bad. And then I was like, it gets better. Even when you were watching, I was like, trust me, he gets better. It's fine. Just you know, you have to believe that it's gonna work, and it does work by the end. It's a really great show. I think that I'm okay with them not showing as much about the Veil of the Force because I feel like as further as you go into it, the more that we understand about it, the more of the mystery goes away. So I'm okay with them just tiptoeing in it towards the end. I'm okay with it. I do wish Thrawn was on there more, but I'm okay with it. That's why it's there, though, is because it's not perfect. It's pretty great, and I would rewatch it, but I don't know if it's worth, like, it's not the best. I don't think it's Grandmaster. And Solo is so much better than I gave it credit for. Moving on to that. So much better than I thought it was originally, because I thought it was like, I was like, it's okay, you know, there's a lot that happens, but it's okay, you know? And then I rewatched it with Kill, and we did that on Disney.
That's also probably part of the problem, because I was completely like, whenever watching a movie with me is both a wonderful and terrible experience at the same time, because I get so invested in whatever movie it is.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
I give my all into that movie. And like I am emotionally exhausted afterwards, but it's worth it to me because I'm like,
I get that.
I felt everything in Solo and I loved it.
Yeah, I don't like. It's weird, right? Because I think it's very. There's conveniences in it, but it works. It's not like it's terrible. It's not like it's convenience for the sake of convenience's sake. So I think it's good. I like everything that happens in it.
I still want Solo too.
We're getting.
I really want
Lando,
Solo. I want Solo the Crimson Dawn.
But we're getting what's it called?
We're
getting Lando.
The Lando series, but the Lando series isn't going to go through the stuff that happens in the Crimson Dawn.
No, but we're gonna get a little bit with if not most of it with Donald Glover, which is your boy Childish Gambino.
I'm okay with that.
I love it. He was great. That's why it went up, because like how much you get to see with him and how long he's there, and they really do get a bond going at least. I think it's good. Him and Chewie obviously works. You kind of screw that up.
And I know people are like, but he doesn't look like Harrison Ford.
I don't like the actor. I'm still against that, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't love the actor for Solo, but the movie's like his interactions with people.
He did a really, whether you like him or not, he did a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
He did a good job.
Better options. I don't know. I'm weird with Solo. I like it and I don't like it. It's like it's right on that edge of Rogue One. Like either one of them could like completely plummet by tomorrow. The more I think about it, but as of right now,
do you see why I don't think about it?
No, but you kind of have to think about it sometimes. How else are you gonna make a tier list? You can't make a tier list. You don't think about it.
I thought my tier list turned out fine, and we'll talk about my terrible choices for Grandmaster when we get there.
I mean, mine aren't great either. I have New Hope up there, so we'll start with that one. New Hope. It's what starts it all. It's what builds the universe, the galaxy, far, far away, whatever. You know what I mean? It's the start. I like it. It's not perfect, obviously, but like we said, it came out in '77, and it's,
it was good. My biggest disagreement is the movies are not like video games where the original is always the best.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
I mean,
that,
I thought that it wasn't quite. It wasn't quite up there. But
I don't know, because use the Force, Luke. I liked everything that happened. There's a lot that happens in New Hope, like with honestly one of the shorter times out of all the movies. So
all right, so really quickly with I want to address Illustar's hot take.
Yeah. Okay.
With Solo, Youngling, it does. He put it on Youngling. It does not have anything to add to the universe at large. It was a standalone. It was a standalone, lovely sci-fi journey, but as a Star Wars movie. Why? Because everything in the universe isn't about the big picture. People have stories.
That's like Rogue One too. You
like
can say that.
Like people have their own stories and their own contained things, and I think it's okay for us to explore them. So I don't disagree with you. It has no impact. It has almost zero impact. Like I'd give it like 5% impact on the entire universe. Yeah, you don't have to watch to understand anything that goes on. But I think it delves into Han and Chewie, and we get to learn more about them, and it's like the reason for like reading a book, like reading a prequel book on like a character.
I think for me, like how I look at it at least, is after having the sequel trilogy movies, I was just like, it's just nice to have a happy movie. Nothing like middle ends, bookends. I don't need to worry about a sequel, because if it doesn't happen because it got terrible reviews, then it's fine. And if it does, then cool too. But it doesn't it's not impacting anything.
No, which is completely fair. Which is a completely fair take. I think it's a completely fair, I think the reason why you're like, it's Youngling is the reason why I think so highly of it.
Yeah.
It's the exact, it's pretty much the exact same reason of
no.
Because it's a standalone and it doesn't impact the whole universe, that's why I love it. I think that's honestly why I love it.
And if they did get to do another one, it would be cool, because then you get to see more with them.
I also get to see more Darth Maul.
I don't know how I feel about him being relegated to just those movies, but it's fine. I guess.
Well, he wouldn't be relegated to just those movies. He'd probably also be in a Rebels movie, depending on how.
If that ever happens.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Live action is going to be crazy once we get that.
And to throw out the origin of his last name, I loved the origin of his last name. I loved seeing the Kessel Run.
Yeah.
I was when they were like, oh, so Han Solo. I was like, ah! I was like, he said the thing.
He was. He was freaking out, Illy, just like that. He literally like squealed like a girl, just like that.
I did. I loved it, but again, I can see why people wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
So like,
it's fan service for fan service's sake. So I'm like, I'm in
it's
this
Captain
weird spot where-
America holding Mjolnir
Oh yeah. No,
during
that is,
Endgame.
yeah.
That is what it is. Did that need to happen? No. Could Cap have found a way to beat the crap out of Thanos without it? Of course. But did it make the movie pretty good? Oh yeah.
It made the movie pretty good. Yeah,
It made it pretty good. All right, so continue. I'm sorry.
I don't hate fan service. So you're all good. I don't
Yeah.
hate fan service. Like that's the thing. I just wanted to get off because I don't hate fan service. But yeah, then at the end of my, because I kind of put them in order almost at the top at least of what's like best Grandmaster. Like if we had Yoda, it'd be like Empire. You know, like I would like that way from left to right. Best left, right, worst ish right, but whatever. Clone Wars also Grandmaster because like. As a whole, I love how they do the journey. Even with Anakin, you see him change so much just within those seasons, and you get to see him getting worse and worse and worse. And I liked seeing that progression finally because we didn't get to see that because it was just movie format before. So it felt nice. Felt nice.
It was good. I enjoyed.
Oh, here
That
we
was
go.
Clone Wars, yeah. Sorry, I was just talking about the fact of like,
I know.
no,
I'm just
yeah,
reading it,
so like the treatment of giving the name Solo is the same as like what Luke did with his father's lightsaber. Well, thing is, Luke went back to look for his dad's lightsaber.
Yeah.
And like literally he gets there and it's like a towering like, think of like Garbage Island is what he has to look through for the lightsaber, and he's like, he can't find it, and then he has this moment because he's like at the end of Empire Strikes Back, he is completely detached from the Force because he's worried he's going to become his father.
Yeah.
And so without his lightsaber, that's the only thing that is a symbol to him of that he's a Jedi.
Yeah.
And so this was in the 2020 comic, the Star Wars 2020 comic.
Gotcha.
And which I've been reading, and that's so good. And he's literally like, he goes back to look for it because it's the symbol to him that means he's a Jedi. He hasn't connected that he's a Jedi by his actions. He's connected he's a Jedi because of the lightsaber. And so then he finally connects back to the Force and realizes he doesn't have to have that lightsaber because it wasn't his lightsaber. That kyber crystal wasn't calling to him.
Yeah.
So yeah. And it's the fact of like, even in Last Jedi, he tosses it behind his back. Like, it's not his lightsaber anymore. That's not what he needs. His lightsaber is his green one. That is his kyber crystal. That is his, it's not the Skywalker Youngling Slayer 9000. It's his.
That's fair. Yeah. That does make, that one like kind of gripe at the beginning of Last Jedi not as bad. But then once again, we're filling in the gaps of the storytelling with other things.
With the universe as expansive as Star Wars, it makes sense.
I wish it was all.
I do too. I do too. But that's why there's content creators like us who are going to read these things so we can help fill in the gaps for people.
He's going to read these things. Oh, actually, wrong way. No, he's going to read these things.
He's going to read these things.
And then I'm going to hear about them and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yes.
That is the usual.
Next week, I will reread the High Republic comic and we can talk about it because it was very good. Oh,
nice.
So good. Anyway, to continue, you've talked about Return of the. Did you talk about Return of the Jedi?
No, I never talked about Return of the Jedi. I'll get through these quicker. So Return of the Jedi, I really like Return of the Jedi. Obviously, it's a good staple at the end of what should have been just the end of the trilogy. It's fine, or the 6 episodes. It's fine. Whatever.
I mean, it's the same argument of we really didn't need a prequel either.
Yeah,
it was a cash. It was a cash cow.
I think that was at least there was some forethought to that, though. At least you know what I mean. By the time you switch it to,
it all had the same director, so it wasn't really hard.
Yeah, well, for the most part, he didn't direct Empire,
but he wrote it all. He wrote it all. There were two different writers for
writing,
two different writers and directors for the last trilogy.
Yeah,
which isn't fair to the last trilogy. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I hate the people that made it.
I'm not disagreeing. I completely agree. My biggest thing is that I think that not having a through line was the biggest issue. But then we got Mandalorian, our boy. This is the way. You gotta love him. Nothing bad about him. Sometimes the episodes are a little too spin-offy. I don't mind them. I like them actually. Sometimes more than the main episodes.
So can I tell you something wonderful about the Mandalorian?
What's up? What's
literally the wonderful thing about the Mandalorian? Think about it like a video game.
Yeah.
You start off, all you have is the best car of your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and you complete your first mission.
Great.
You get paid, and you
I
get
feel
more
that.
Beskar. So you start adding armor to it, getting better armor. And then you go through, and sometimes, yes, the stuff you do is side questy.
Yeah.
And doesn't pertain to the main storyline, but it's still, you can still keep going.
It does even as it comes back around,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
And sometimes you meet characters that matter later in the story from that side quest.
Yeah. Well, you established their own television show for Disney Plus, which I'm okay with. By the way, I want to make sure I put that in there.
Cara Dune, the new Republic Marshal. I would watch it. It would be so bad, but I'd watch it. No, Cara Dune needs to keep herself in Mandalorian.
We need to not. Yeah, we need to not.
She doesn't need to branch out. It's like she fits very well in that story.
Yeah, she works. Yeah.
But
and then Empire, just great.
It's so like the whole thing, and then by the end of season 1, then it's like you get through that, but you see what chapter 2 is getting ready to start, and so it's like you want to see the armor upgrades. You get those armor upgrades. Like now, note if hey Disney, if you want to give me you want to give EA the okay to just like toss a video game like that our way.
That'd be great.
You would have the entire gamer community like.
Could you imagine an MMO like that?
You would have the entire gamer community at your fingertips.
Yeah, everyone would just stop playing Destiny. Everyone would just start playing that. Honestly.
What's Destiny?
It's good enough.
At that point, what's Destiny?
I just make the Mandalorian noises when I want to say this is the way.
That's completely fair.
I love that music. Ludwig, he did a great job. I think that's his name. That made the music. I could be completely wrong. I'm terrible with names.
Could be.
This is what
But I don't think you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, your last one, my dude.
That was it. That's all of them.
I missed you talking about Empire Strikes Back. Like I heard you talking, but I didn't.
I was like, Empire's great. We said that.
We talked about it, yeah. Awesome. All right. My Grandmaster stuff. I only have 4 things on Grandmaster.
Let's go. That's good.
2 of them are hot takes. The other 2 are agreeances. What kind of agreeances?
I really could have used that council member, but not the rank of Jedi Master. We could have both used that.
That'd been a great tier. That was a good one. I wish I had thought about that before tonight.
Yeah. Also, Master should be above council member, but we're not going to get into that either. It's fine.
Well, if you're on the council, you're supposed to be a master, so it's.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
But Qui-Gon Jinn was still better than the entire council at me. So Mandalorian being up on Grandmaster, I mean, if you've watched it, you understand. Although there are some people that can't get into it, but it is every amount of fan service and a brand new story that is told in such a different way. That is awesome. And it rises emotions and makes you feel things and causes drama within the community because people cry about Luke being there. And it's
not okay.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm not gonna bring it up, but
it's fine. We don't have to bring it up. It's fine.
So it's all of that. It's wonderful. All right. My hot takes. I have always thought that the last movie of each trilogy was the best. I walk out, you get the climax of the entire story, you get the best fights. In Rise of Skywalker's fact, it was rushed, but you always get the best story.
Yeah.
I would say that Rise of Skywalker had a better story than Last Jedi and Force Awakens. Although I don't really know what I was on. I think Force Awakens should have been above, or should have been switched with Last Jedi, so I don't know what I was on when I was making this, but
that's how I felt making today when
I was like, this is probably should have been switched. But Rise of Skywalker, it's up there because it is the apex. It is everything, and it started tying in things that were not canon anymore. It tied in the fact that there have been Darth Lords before that have done what the Emperor does. It's this extended universe stuff that for the person who's all up in the business of Star Wars is like, oh my God. That's a thing that Emperor Vitiate did. Oh my God. He's acting like the Eternal Empire. Like, oh my gosh. Was Starforge on Exegol? Is that how he created all those things so fast? Like, there's those things where like your brain like explodes because there's these theories that like make sense if you bring in Legends content, and you're like, oh, what if they do that? And so like seeing that apex and seeing that climax and that ending of it was glorious. I hate that Rey took. I hate that Rey took the Skywalker last name.
Skywalker.
Because I think that the whole point of the trilogy was her finding her own identity, and taking Luke and Leia's was not her own identity.
Wait, to point in the sequel trilogy? There's a point?
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway.
It's just circles. We're just going around
the
in
thing
circles.
is, the thing is, the sequel trilogy. This is another conversation I had that I think I was having it in my Gilded, and I literally it stopped the conversation because I was like, it's not Luke and Leia and Han's story.
Yeah, no, that's
it's
not
not
I
well, no, I know that. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's not their story, and everybody that other than like, I mean, you know my points, like we've talked about it plenty of times, but everybody else I hear is like, well, it was supposed to be about these guys, and they got treated dirty. I was like, it's not their story. They're allowed to get treated dirty. It's not about them. It's not about Luke anymore.
I just wish there was more depth.
Oh, I agree. Like, I don't disagree. There should have been some more depth. There should have been more forethought. But again, it's the same thing as I don't blame the movies for the lack of writing.
That's fair.
Because the movies, for what we got, were they were good movies. Could they have been better? Of course they could have been better. They should have been better.
That's kind of why I feel. That's why
Kathleen Kennedy screwed up the Star Wars universe. That's not the movie's fault. That's not the actor's fault. That's on her.
Truth.
So I don't hold that against the movies.
I don't even blame JJ anymore at this point.
Oh, it's not his fault. It's the freaking it's the director of Last Jedi and Kathleen Kennedy. Those were the two that I would blame.
So that's why I didn't even feel comfortable putting it on my list.
Because JJ did awesome with The Force Awakens. I felt like it was very well done. Last Jedi, it was good.
It was very safe.
But that's a good thing. For our first one back, that's a great thing. It should be safe. We should feel comforted. We should feel like we know what's going on.
Rise of Skywalker is also safe. Rise of Skywalker is also very safe.
Well, when you have such a show that was The Last Jedi, you have to play it safe. You can't be risky anymore because you're like, I don't know what to do here.
Well, it's not even, I don't blame JJ because essentially with all the extra stuff that they're going to be adding in for this 4-hour version,
it's going to be so good. Anyway, so then,
but I'm down.
Like,
I don't hate your tier list. I don't like Rise of Skywalker. Honestly, if I was going to move one thing, it'd be that, and then I'd be fine.
I have my feelings.
It's fine. You're allowed to have them.
It would not be in my. It would be number 4. Like if it was going to be anything, it would be number 4. It wouldn't be in the top 3.
Yep, that's fair.
Then
that's a good spot for it.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was again one of the most influential movies of my life. Like you see the good and the bad, like the turn of like. I think that was honestly like I come from like my dad's a very angry person. Like I'm an angry person. Like you see that and you're like, you can like as a 13-year-old watching that movie, you're like, oh crap, I need to fix myself. Yeah. Like I don't want to be like Anakin. I want to be like Obi-Wan. You know, when you hit that shift, you're like, I don't want to be Darth Vader. You know, like yeah, it'd be cool to be Darth Vader, but I don't know that anybody legitimately is like, yeah, I want to be Darth Vader. I want to do all these cruel, terrible things.
I want to end all the Jedi.
I think that there are those people though. Like there are people that like the Sith more than the Jedi.
I mean, there's a difference of liking the Sith more than the Jedi, and then if you ask them, would you really have killed every single 3-year-old in that temple?
That is. You gotta. What kind of person's gonna say yes to that? Yeah, that's true.
Like that's what I'm saying. So like you get that moment, you look at the deeds he did, and you're like, I gotta be better than like.
No, I don't disagree.
So that's influential to me as a young man. That was massive to me. Seeing how that fight ended and seeing the sheer depression on Obi-Wan's face. It's like Anakin's reaching out to him and he's like, dude, you're too far gone.
No.
And then reading and learning about the fact that was Obi-Wan's problem too. Obi-Wan was dealing in absolutes. He was saying that you can't get better. There's no way. Where Luke was constantly like, no, there's good in him. He can be good. Which brings me into Return of the Jedi, why it was such a wonderful film. Like the redemption arc of Vader. Like the fact that the whole time everybody's like, he's too evil. He can't change. Kill him. And Luke's like, nah.
No, I'm not
I see hope in him. He's the embodiment of what a Jedi should be, even more than the perfect Jedi Obi-Wan. Like he's got that. He's got that idea of like, there's always hope. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
There's always a way to
So
be
we
better.
ever see that even flicker a little bit, like you said, was at the end of Empire. So yeah, by the time you're done with Return of the Jedi, it's just
He's refound himself, and he's like, I know who I am. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm going to save my father.
oh yeah,
Because it's just
so
like
good.
it's just like Obi-Wan's biggest mistake. It was talked about in Legends a lot. His biggest mistake was that he was absolutist about Anakin. He didn't give Anakin a chance for redemption. He said once he saw the stuff that happened with the younglings, he said he's too evil. He has to die. Like he agreed with Yoda. He has to die. There's no bringing him back after that. Whereas Padme was like, I know there's still good in him.
Yeah.
Where
if Obi-Wan had listened to her even for like a smidgen of a second, maybe that things would have changed different.
It might have, because think about that. Like just going out instead of with his lightsaber out, he went out with an open hand. You know, like I got you. Like there could have been so much more there. And then at the end of this was in Legends, but in the end of Return of Jedi, because Obi-Wan was there watching the whole time. You know, in the Force, in the living Force around Luke, telling Luke, kill him. And Luke's like, no, I'm not going to kill him. He's my dad. He's got good in him. I believe in him to come back. And then Obi-Wan watches as Luke's about to get killed, that Vader's just like, yo, yeet. And he's like, so the reason that Luke is or that Anakin's a Force ghost is because the moment that he died, Obi-Wan watched him die, watched him get redeemed, felt so much sorrow for how he had treated his best friend for years. And he waited at basically death's door for Anakin, calling out to him to give him the ability to be a Force ghost. And Anakin walked up to him and was like sobbing and apologizing. It was like, Master, I'm so sorry for everything I've done. And he's just like, no, I'm sorry too. And like, they moved on. Like it's like such a glorious, it's one of those stories that like you need it to come back because it was so good.
We need that to happen, yeah.
But like that explains why he can be a Force ghost, is because Obi-Wan was like, we're going to fast track this because you deserve to be here.
Yeah.
You finally brought balance. He's like, because he was like, Master, why do I deserve immortality? And he's like, because you finally brought balance to the Force.
For good.
At the sacrifice of your own life.
I'm
not crying. You're crying.
I just want more Star Wars.
I mean,
More Star Wars.
I want more Star Wars, and I want it now. All right. I don't think we have any questions because, like, our one question that we had was, I answered.
No, but I'm glad. I like having this back and forth though, because we don't all agree about stuff, and that's good. It makes it more interesting. It would be boring if we all had the same feelings about everything.
Big agreed.
And also, I don't hate Attack of the Clone Wars because I think it's not that bad, but it's okay. Attack of the Clones is fine. It's fine. You hate it, it's okay.
I will rewatch it with you, and
I think it's a lot better because you just get a lot of the bounty hunter stuff. It's not bad.
I will watch it with drinks and you, and that is it. Maybe we'll watch it tonight after stream. Ooh. Guys, pay attention to Gilded in Discord. We'll talk about a watch party later.
Oh, yeah, we'll try Gilded, I guess.
So that all being said, we're ending the podcast for now. I don't know what we're going to do afterwards. We might play Cold War together or something. You guys would have to find out. If you want to find out, you guys got to come watch it live. Again, all that stuff will be in the show notes, both my links, Panda's links. Go check out East Coast Guild. Thank you guys so much for hosting us. Chat and everybody that watches, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Thank you guys for following in the journey. May the Force be with you, and we will see you guys in the next one. Adios.
Au revoir.